So Jamal Niaz here with British MMA legend Brad Pickett. We're here at the grand opening of Manchester Top Team, and you're going to be doing a Q&A after with all the lucky fans here tonight with Frank Mir. How great is it to see Manchester MMA thriving like it is today?
No, for me, it's a given because there's a lot of talent up in this area, and Carl Prince has been a very good coach back in the days where he had his All Powers gym. Yeah. There's a lot of good guys coming from there, so it's just like the evolution of the sport now. And now he's got a nice hub, his own sort of place that he can help grow, and it's just the start. And I can see some good things coming from Manchester. And Manchester's such a big city with a lot of talent and stuff like that. And with him being the spearhead of it up here, I can see it being very successful.
Obviously, you fought in this city under the UFC banner countless times, haven't you, really? Back in 2013, I believe, on the Munoz Machida card. Did you fight on that? Birmingham. I remember Henan Barral. I was there 2011. You did fight on that card. And I was there for the Thomas Almeida fight at 189 as well. Some of the best fights in British MMA.
I got kneed in the face, so you must be unlucky, huh?
But regardless, they were the best fights of that night. Regardless. Just looking back at your MMA career, you had wins over Demetrius Johnson back in WEC days. What stands out from you now, looking back on such a storied career?
I've been asked this a few times about certain sort of highlights from my career, and I have different stages. For me, when I started getting to anywhere in the fighting, I kind of like, it'd be nice to fight in Las Vegas, the fight capital. So made my WC debut there, and I won by a really rare submission, proving necktie, and I got submission on the night as well. So for me, that's one of my really good memory for me, making my WC debut in Vegas and winning by a rare submission and getting a submission bonus was awesome. And then I think another highlight for me when I went into the UFC would be my knockout of Yves Gibron in Nottingham. It wasn't in London, obviously, but it was in my home country. And it was just nice with a name like One Punch to live up to it once in a while. So for me, I enjoyed that. I've had a good fight. Yeah, obviously people always going to bring up the Demetrius Johnson thing. But back when I fought him, if I beat him now, I'll get a lot more credit. But back when I fought him, he's in he was unbeaten. I think it was 14-0 or something like that. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of hype around him. But me, I didn't care back then. I was like, yeah, I'll beat this kid anyways. And going back and watching it, I actually beat him pretty comfortably. Yeah. He's gone on to do remarkable things and stuff, so obviously he learned a lot from that defeat, as in you kind of do. Sometimes when you get defeat, you have to go back to the drawing board and learn a lot more things. I think I helped him get better.
Now, I was speaking to Frank about how exciting of a time it was when he defeated Nogueira after Pride had just been acquired by the UFC. Now, a similar thing had happened when the WEC got acquired by the UFC. But back in those WEC days, did you recognise the talent around you? And obviously, yourself, such a pivotal part of that company, but you have the likes of Benson Henderson, Cowboy Cerrone, Showtime Pettis, all these guys. Did you envision what those guys and yourself were going to become at that time?
Well, for me, obviously, being at the time I was a bantamweight, there was no UFC for me. So, where could I go to fight the best guys in the world at my weight class? And that was the WC. The best guys at 145, 135 was the WEC. So I knew I was trying with the best guys in the world for those weight classes. But then also they had 155, but so did the UFC. But you just saw, that's why Dana White wanted, because obviously UFC owned the WC, but that's why they wanted to merge the two, because the fights, every WC event was just fantastic. Crazy. Great. I mean, everyone couldn't wait. So like Dana White, being a good businessman that he is, he goes, "Well, I need to bring these fighters under the UFC banner." So for me, it never changed in a way that my opponents never changed. I still will find the same opponents, but I guess my audience changed, where obviously being in the UFC, you got a lot more eyes.
Yeah. And then we look back on your retirement back at UFC London. very tough one for fans to take. You know, you'd been such a brilliant part of the sport in this country for so many years. For fans to say goodbye to you was difficult, and I'm guessing it was a really tough one for you to do as well. But you are remaining in the sport as a coach and a trainer. So how has that differed? How is life for you these days?
Yeah, well, for me, it was one of those ones where I retired from the sport on my own terms, in a way where a lot of people were forced to retire, either one by getting cut by the UFC or something like that, or two by injury. But I just knew it was my time to like hang up my gloves, and like when I was competing, my goal was always to be trying to be number one. I did all I can to get number one at the 135 pound weight class. Didn't get there. I could have kind of fallen over the final hurdle. So that's why I went down to 125, because I had that win over Demetrius Johnson. So I thought if I stack up 2 wins in that division, I'd get a title shot 100%. And then obviously going down to the weight class, the styles of fights didn't really suit me. They just run away for 15 minutes. It's quite boring. So then I went back up to 135. And when I did that, then I knew then I knew it's just a job. Even though it's a good job and I liked it, but my desire for competition wasn't the same, because I'm like, So that's when I kind of felt like I wanted to try. Since retiring though, I've been very, very busy with my athletes. I'm very competitive, but now I compete a lot through my athletes. And that's why I've already got quite a good, strong team. We're doing very well. We have quite a few belts. We have people in the UFC already. Yeah. So so our team's doing well, and I'm looking to grow it even more.
One of the most high-profile fighters that you train is Nathaniel Wood. How much do you see of yourself in him? Both durable, tough, tons of ability physically. How much do you see of yourself in him?
To be honest, we're two completely different people. Same in some ways, where certain morals and some things, I do like to pass on my knowledge to him. He has but he also has a very good style of his own. You know, he has very good kicks. I never kicked. But it's just not just technical stuff I help him out with. It's just like mindsets and strangely life advice inside and outside the cage. You know, so yeah, I give that to all my students. Really, I care about them dearly. Everyone, you know, when they lose, I hurt. You know, and when they win, I'm excited. So but Nathaniel, he's a great kid. Bags of talent, very, very, very motivated, and a very bright future. And I'm looking forward to continuing this journey with him for many years to come.
Because he obviously came through the Cage Warriors route to the UFC, which pretty much is the way to do it now in this country, to impress on the national level and then make that step up to the international level of the UFC. We've got guys like Tom Aspinall. He's going to be making his debut at UFC London. In terms of who has most impressed you, obviously other than Conor McGregor, from that jump from Cage Warriors to UFC, who would you say has most impressed you during this period? Put you on the spot.
Yeah, you are putting me on the spot. 100% you jump off to me and say Conor McGregor, but then behind that, I'd say sort of Nathaniel, because he went into the UFC for Cage Warriors thing, and he had 3 UFC fights, finished all 3. Which is good. Unfortunately, he lost his last fight, but that kind of derailed the train a little bit. But apart from that, there's not been many, as in coming from the Cage Warriors. Yeah, there's loads of people fighting the Cage Warriors and stuff like that, but they fought elsewhere, if you know what I mean, as well. So I'd say Nathaniel Wood, to be honest. That's me being a bit biased.
I have to ask you a prediction for the UFC London main event as well. I mean, what a high-level matchup that is. Leon Edwards has been chomping at the bit for an opportunity like Tyron Woodley. How do you see this one going?
It's a tricky one here, if you ask me, because I know both fighters quite well. I've counted Leon out a little bit before due to wrestling, and he surprised me. But Tyron Woodley has a different sort of level of wrestling, which is very, very good, very hard to take down. But Leon being in his home country, having that behind him, you know, that's going to spur him on a lot more. And like you say, he wants these sort of challenges and stuff like that, where it could be a really bad night for Tyron Woodley if he underestimates Leon Edwards, which I don't think he will. But if he does, Leon Edwards is no joke, and he could definitely come away with a win. But I'd say going into the fight, you're going to see Woodley as a favourite, but you can't count out Edwards, and like he's phenomenal as well. So he definitely can win.
And the next title fight in the bantamweight division as well, just been announced this past week, Cejudo versus Aldo. A lot of people giving Aldo a bit of scrutiny considering that he's not coming in with the best record in recent fights, but he's a legend of the game. He's more than earned his right with the years and years of work that he's put in. So how do you see that one going? And what do you make of Cejudo's persona as well? Because I'm guessing you guys, you wouldn't really take his persona too well if you came up against him.
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing nowadays with personas, and I like triple cringe for me. Yeah. It's like so cringy, and like, I get it. It's just not me. It's not me. I get it. Like, yeah, but it's cringy. Yeah, it's annoying. It's very talented. Yeah, but I mean, he doesn't need that to sell himself. But you think about this, where he's doing it. You look at someone like Demetrius Johnson, one of the best athletes pound for pound for many, many years. No one really cared. So he's trying to make people care, in a good way or bad way. He wants people to talk about him. So I get that. But it's just not me anyway. And going back to Aldo, I think Aldo won his last fight, even though he didn't win the decision. I actually thought he won, and I'm excited to see him fight. And I'm excited to see, really, as a fight fan, I'm excited to see Aldo fight no matter what. And I'm excited to see him challenge himself against someone like Henry. Because Aldo has fantastic anti-wrestling hips and stuff like that. So it'd be interesting to see if Henry could get it down. As in, like, Henry in his first round against Marlon Moraes really struggled with those kicks and stuff like that. Managed to adapt and switch up his game plan and then win the fight, doing really well. But it's going to be interesting because obviously I'm going to give the size advantage to Aldo as well.
Yeah, 100%. Since retiring from the UFC, you did have a bare knuckle match. How did that come about? And was that something that you always wanted to do? Because you look at the bare knuckle game now, even Paulie Malignaggi, Artem Lobov, they had a fight. So it's becoming a lot more high profile.
Yeah, that's the reason I did it. It's a lot more high profile now. But when I got into fighting originally, my mother told me about my granddad. He died when I was 4, so I didn't really get to know him. But when I got into fighting, she said, "Oh, you got it from your granddad," and she showed me some pictures of him. He used to wear trilby and braces. That's why I paid tribute to him and wear my trilby and braces, because he used to work during the day as a roofer and at night time just to earn some extra money. He used to do bare knuckle boxing. So I just kind of thought it'd be a good round circle to finish my fighting career having a bare knuckle boxing match, and I even won the British title doing it. So it's actually quite cool. But it's one of those ones where I'm trying to be the next best thing, whatever, it doesn't matter. And will I do it again? Maybe. For me now to compete, it has to be something that gets my juices flowing, and I'm not really, it's not about money for me or fame or anything like that. It has to be something I like that challenge. That'd be good. I'd like to fight Lobov, but he just got beat by Jason Knight. Jason Knight's messaged me on Instagram and he says, well, I will fight him. And I said, yeah, I'll fight him. But again, I'm not chasing a fight. I'm not one of that guys who's going to start calling out people, that's, whatever. So I'm like, if I fight, I fight. If I don't, I don't. I'll carry on just with my normal day.
I would absolutely love to see either of those fights. Just looking at like where we're at with the UK MMA scene now, I think Darren Till was tipped to be the next guy after Michael Bisping to lift that UFC gold for the second time for a UK fighter. If you had to pinpoint someone now, would you still say it's him, or could you say that Leon might pip him to it? Because those two guys are definitely leading the pack right now, aren't they?
Yeah, you'd say that because obviously they're high up, the rankings are more known. But there are some good fighters. I really rate Arnold Allen, but he just doesn't make much noise. But he just had a fantastic win against It
was recently.
Yeah, fuck.
Well, we can check afterwards.
No, but I know the guy. But my mind's just gone blank. You know, it's Diaz's training partners and friends. Gilbert Melendez, yeah.
I thought it was Gilbert Melendez. Yeah, it was.
So, I know Gilbert Melendez quite well.
Yeah.
Melendez got stuck, yeah. So like that was a really good win for him as well. So he's just like there's not a noise about him, but I think he's very talented. You know, so there is a lot of talented people within the UK, and there's a lot of talented people throughout the world. And, you know, sometimes it's getting these right opportunities and just turning up on that night.
Perfect. Well, I know you've got duties out there, a bit of coaching, a bit of Q&A duties, but massive honour to speak to you about your career. Such a testament to you as a fighter, one of the pioneers of the sport in the UK. Thank you very much.
Nice.